You're in there.
It's 5 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the council meeting for the city of West Orange to order. I'd like to remind everyone to please sign in if you didn't. And we have something new going on this afternoon. We're going to try to record the meeting audibly and visually as well. So if you're speaking, please speak up. That's for all of us, especially on the council who do most of the speaking. So we have a quorum present. I'd like to ask Ms. Shirley to lead us in invocation. And we'll do the pledge of allegiance after that.
Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the weather that we've had lately. We ask that you be with us tonight if we can. Heavenly Father, we ask you to be with this war that's going on in Ukraine. And if it is thy will, please stop it and keep there's so many innocent people getting killed. Just be with the United States, dear Heavenly Father, and that we can do what you want in your sight. Yes,
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Move on to our consent agenda, discussion and possible action on approval of the minutes of the March 14th, 2022 council meeting. Is there a motion? Discussion?
Who make a motion for your minutes from the March 14th, 2022 council meeting?
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion to approve the minutes for the March 14th, 2022 council meeting, say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, it's time for our public comments. At this time, comments will be taken from the audience on any subject matter, whether or not that item is on the agenda. All comments are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes for each speaker. If more than one person wishes to address the same subject, a spokesperson must be selected who will be recognized to represent the group. The comments are appreciated. The Texas Open Meeting Act does not allow the council to discuss items not listed on the agenda. However, if possible, your questions may be answered with statement of policy, statement of fact, or it may be placed on a future agenda for attention by council. You also may be directed to the appropriate department head to address your questions or concerns. Is there anyone who would like to speak?
I'm Francis Lopez. I reside at 2820 Smith Street in West Orange. I would like to address the council in regard to agenda item number 8, the color of the proposed color for the new fire truck. I understand that the fire department is requesting that the fire truck be painted blue and silver. Well, I don't think that's a good idea, and neither do some of my neighbors and friends in West Orange that I've talked to, and this is the reason. First of all, if it's blue and silver, then it appears to be a school district vehicle. So will all the city vehicles be painted blue and silver so that it looks like a unit for the city? And will the other fire trucks be painted blue and silver also so that they go together? It also, if it is blue and silver, then it appears that it serves the school district and not the city of West Orange. The other point is, not everyone in the city is in West Orange School District. So are you discriminating against those who are in Rich City? The second issue I have with it is safety. At night, blue appears to be black. And with blue and gray, there is not enough of a contrast in the colors to make, to enhance the visibility of the vehicle. If the fire truck is used to block a city street, and we know many of our city streets are not real well lit, and something should happen to the lighting system on that truck, the truck is going to be difficult to see. A vehicle rushing home because their house is on fire runs into that vehicle. Is the city then liable for that accident? I don't know the legal ramifications of that, but it is a concern of mine. We are all conditioned to see red fire trucks from the time we are very young. So automatically, when we see a red fire truck, we move to the right and make way for that vehicle. Today, in many of our vehicles, they are almost soundproof. So if you're driving down the street, you have vehicle noise, people talking, and a radio going on. You may not hear the silence until that vehicle is upon you. And if you look up in your rearview mirror and you see lights coming, but it's not a red vehicle, it's just a dark colored vehicle, then is it a wrecker? Or is it a large, big load? You don't have that automatic reaction. That is a big concern for me. So I think our fire truck should be the traditional red, mainly for safety issues and because it needs to be a city vehicle and not a West Orange vehicle.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? All right, that'll be the end of the public comments. Move into our regular session. Our item number 1 is a presentation by Donald Coronado, the TML Health Benefits Pool.
Good afternoon, everybody, or good evening. My name is Donald Coronado with TML Health Benefits Pool. And on behalf of the pool and our board of directors, I'd like to present the City of West Orange a longevity award. They've been with TML, have allowed us to continue to provide quality healthcare benefits to the employees of West Orange and other smaller cities in the state of Texas. Pool started with 13 small cities, and now we've grown to almost 1,000. Pushing on 40,000 members. So we've grown a lot. Again, we'd like to provide this award on behalf of the pool. So I'd like to provide this to the mayor.
Thank you.
Also have a certificate. Shows that.
Thank you, Donald.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And just to give you some idea back to the quality of benefits, this last year we were able to provide refund credit, or excuse me, a renewal credit back to the city of West Orange of about $7,400. So once the underwriting is done, claims are paid, light bills are paid, and so on, there's fund left over, and we're able to give that back to our members. Again, we're a not-for-profit, and we're here to take care of the city. So that just shows you the power of the TML Health Pool when I'm providing the type of benefits that we do. Thank you.
Thanks, Donald. Thanks,
You're
Donald.
welcome.
Appreciate it. Our item number 2 on the agenda is presentation discussion by Orange County EDC regarding growth strategies of our area. Yes.
Good evening. The Orange County Economic Development Corporation recently finished an industry growth strategy specifically focusing on the logistics, distribution, and warehousing sector. So I wanted to come tonight and hit some high points about that strategy, what they came back to us with as far as where they see some of our strengths and weaknesses, and where we might be able to build a strategy around recruiting more logistics, distribution, and warehousing to serve our existing industrial businesses. So first impressions were, there's traffic and connectivity concerns. I'm sure that doesn't really surprise anyone, specifically with Interstate 10. I think they got stuck in traffic as soon as they got to Orange County, behind a wreck on I-10. So they got a bird's eye view of what we deal with on a daily basis there. There were some challenges with quality of place, as well as low workforce coordination. So when they looked at Orange County, they went through a process of evaluating all of our numbers, so to speak. They did a deep analytical dive into Orange County to determine, where our strengths were, where our weaknesses were, SWOT analysis, the opportunities, the threats that we're encountering here in Orange County. So they did a community and asset tour. They did in-person and online interviews with 11 different stakeholders and 11 different groups of stakeholders. Many of West Orange representatives were in those meetings. They did a comprehensive property checklist, so they went through all of our listed properties that are on our websites, as well as the properties that are listed with our local real estate agents to determine which ones were of the highest and best use for that sector. They put a list of best practices together, and they did a site review ranking. So of those sites that they evaluated, they came back to us with a list of the most likely sites that would fit the logistics, distribution, and warehousing sector. And then they did a detailed recommendation of those top 5 sites. So the key findings from their engagement and assessment: under infrastructure, the challenges and opportunities included the region's traffic issues and connectivity concerns. Orange County is being serviced by Entergy, which is a regional advantage as it provides more reliable power, and specifically the new power generation facility that's in final review with the Public Utility Commission. And then there's opportunities that exist with the Port of Orange, so they wanted us to develop the opportunities there as well. Under needing to improve the quality of place in the region, they suggested that the proximity to the Sabine River is attractive, as well as the downtown areas in each of the communities. And there's an opportunity to maintain the population with the addition of more cultural amenities. And then an increased number of affordable housing and healthcare options would also help attract and keep the workforce local. Specifically under warehousing, promoting that industry, there's opportunities to market the industry as a promising career. Students do not attend college, so there's an opportunity to show students industrial options that would have immediately after high school. So utilizing the resources at Lamar State College Orange and the opportunity to build programs out of the college to fill the local need for students who aren't going to a 4-year institution or leaving the area. Be an opportunity to keep them here locally if we're providing jobs that they're able to fill right out of high school. And then we specifically as the EDC needs to be the bridge between education and workforce. There was a lot of information in the report, which Chief Stelly has. If you're interested in that, I know Mayor has a copy of it as well. You can go through. It's a very detailed report with lots of numbers in it, but they really focused a lot on our ability to connect the college to the local need. So the strategies included improving internal and external messaging, increasing business development outreach, aligning education and industry partners, and developing key performance indicators. And a lot of the specific tactics that they suggested we're already doing. You may or may not be aware of the varying levels of marketing that we do. We advertise, market, and trade publications, specifically to economic development groups, specific to industry, the petrochemical industry, as well as the logistics, distribution, and warehousing, as well as maritime. So we're hitting a lot of the tactics already, but they did make some pretty detailed suggestions on other areas that we might be able to improve, specifically with education and workforce, as well as directly with companies that may be looking to locate in this market. So like I said, all of that is available to you if you would like to see it. If you want to take a deep dive into it, and, we can do that at a later date. But just wanted to come today and give you kind of the high points of what this strategy said, and how we're gonna take that and move forward with it to continue to grow Orange County. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them as best I can.
Question? You got one, she's the one that's supposed to answer.
I'm here, ask them why you got me. No, if you have a question, and I'm always available to you, thank you again for all of your support as a member of our EDC. We're a team, use me as a resource, happy to help anytime, whether it's answering questions or just showing up. So,
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item number 3 is presentation from and discussion with Rufus Corey on his request for council's assistance and support with efforts to address drainage issues in his property.
Good evening, council, members of West Orange. I've got some questions that I would like to lay out for the council tonight concerning drainage. If any of you has been through the Dayton Street areas over in between the tracks, north of Austin Street, all the way up to South Street railroad tracks, the Crabtree community, along with Bonnie Street, all those areas back in there are now being improved on drainage, which is a great thing. It's desperately needed. I took some pictures to go along with my presentation that everybody with council should have. It's kind of some before and after photos of what the neighborhoods across from me looked like prior to, and what they're looking like now after the grant money that's being spent for drainage improvements. So basically, what I've run into is when you come out of the neighborhood along Crabtree, the drainage flows underneath Dayton Street directly along my property and back to Adams Highway. And my concern and my complaint is that the upkeep of the drainage areas to get to the bayous, which I think everybody here knows that at some point in time, no matter where you live in West Orange, the drainage is going to Adams Bayou, and then it's going to finally tie into the river. So my complaint is not on any issues concerning tidal, where we have water that pushes in due to south winds, hurricanes. All I want to address tonight is stormwater. These are heavy thunderstorms that come down, produce a lot of runoff, and the way that it looks like things are set up right now, all the area to the west of me across Dayton Street, it looks like it all drains directly beside my property. And there once was, I've been there for 40 years, on the north end of Dayton Street. If any of you remember where the old car wash was, Sophie Sands, Pop Orton's gas station, I live right next door to that. And the drainage has always went to Adams Bayou from the edge of my property all the way next to the railroad tracks. So everything has to go to the bayou. With all the new drainage that's being done, all the new drainage work, if it doesn't have a place to go to, it's still gonna back up. The people in the neighborhoods are still gonna have water on their property in their front yards. It's not going to get out unless the end of the line is addressed and we open up going to the bayou so it can get out from these neighborhoods. And that's my concern. Right now, what's happening is the silt from years past, no upkeep from the drainage district, has caused that area there that used to be a ditch, and it's flattened out. So water is always going to take the path of least resistance. And what it's doing right now, it's coming across my property, which I own all the way back to the bayou. when it hits that final culvert, instead of following a drain to the bayou, it just goes wherever it has to, wherever it can, to finally reach the bayou. And it's coming across my property, and in the state of Texas, it is unlawful to push water on top of anybody. And if you have drainage areas, they've got to be kept up. And that's unfortunately. So, really, one of my first questions for y'all, if you would, see if you can find this out for me. There's generally a scope of work done to lay out the plans for drainage, what all work's going to be done when you're applying for a grant. That way you can lay it out to the state. This is what all we're going to do. These are the areas that we're going to work on. So my question for you is, the engineering firm or whoever did this, I don't know. That's also a question. Who did the study, and the end result? Where is this water supposed to go from these neighborhoods? I don't have a clear vision on that. When I ride around and look, I don't see an outlet to where it's going to go. I pretty much know where all the drains in West Orange are and where it's going, but when you get to the area around me, there's nothing clear cut. And so basically, with that drain coming under Western Avenue, I'm it. Me and the guy next door. Yeah, and if you'll look at the photos, and I think I got it labeled number 3. Those are the ditches on my side of Dayton. And then if you go to the next one, it shows where they've cleaned out and how that drains underneath Dayton Street headed towards the drainage ditches on my side. And then number 4, that's your outlet for all the stormwater that's coming out of the Crabtree neighborhood across from. That's what it's going to run up against. So, I mean, to me, it's not rocket science. When you hit that vegetation, that much blockage, it's still, even with all the work and all the money spent in those neighborhoods, they're still going to back up because the end of the line wasn't addressed.
When you say end of the line, I'm not being interrupted.
Sure.
The end of the line is the bayou, the drainage district.
Yes, the end of the line is right past my driveway on its way to drain to the bayou. Yes. And I've got something that I'm gonna throw on y'all that I didn't have till I went to the courthouse. I hope you can take one of them, just sort of pass it down. What that is that's an aerial shot. Once we started getting Google Earth and all that kind of neat stuff, we started actually getting to where we could see it. And what that is, the blue lines represents the layout for the county to show my property. And then what I did was I came in from the aerial view, and from the edge of Dayton Street, I drew the black line and labeled it drain to Adams Bayou. And that's where that drainage area has always historically been, going to the bayou from that ditch that comes underneath Dayton Street. It followed that line between me and AJ Martin all the way to the bayou. So I have something else that I just run across this afternoon, and I didn't make a bunch of copies. This is the other side of that driveway. If you look at that one colored photo that I included in the packet, that's where they started at one time to clear that after I.
Are you out here, AJ's over here?
Yeah, AJ's across here. My yard this way, this follows straight to Adams Bayou. That's what it would look like. That's what it looked like at one time. I've been in contact twice in the past several days with Orange County Drainage District. I spoke to Dallin Charter, his boss Neil Ford. They had both been out and looked at it, and they agree that the downstream should have been addressed before all the money was spent upstream. But you've got to have a place to drain to.
Is the downstream the county?
the downstream is probably gonna be a combination of West Orange asking for assistance, because I don't think West Orange has the equipment, that I'm aware of, track hose, things like that, that it's gonna take to clear that out and open that ditch back up. Otherwise, if someone decides that is no one's responsibility, that is not a drain, then the first thing I'm gonna ask for is to fill in the ditches going that way. And if I do that, I know what's gonna happen, it's gonna back from neighborhoods up. So, I mean, it's gotta be an either or. It's either the county and the city are responsible for maintaining drainage through there and need to keep it updated and cleaned out, or I want permission to stop those neighborhoods from draining across my property on their way to the bottom. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. But I figured that there has to be a plat that when they were getting this ready for, presentation for the grant, there has to be a plat indicating where that they were gonna drain to in these neighborhoods. And if there's a plat or a drawing, I don't know who has that. I would like to see it, to see if they figured in what was gonna happen with drainage, because you can't just cut the middle out and leave the outsides, you know, to fend themselves. Just can't do it. And this is not about tile issues. This is only about stormwater. From some of the vicious thunderstorms that we have, they fill all these neighborhoods up, and it's got to go somewhere. It's got to get to the bottom. There's also a same issue. It seems like in between the two sets of railroad tracks, anybody that drives through Dayton Street passes across the gully every time that they go down through there. Most all the neighborhoods drain to that gully runs right out down to the bottom. But when you get up towards the northern end, there's two places to drain from. One is along the edge of my property, and one is right next to the railroad tracks on South Street. On either side, both sides of that run to Adams Bottom. The side on the south side of the tracks, that has the longest run, that's getting grown up. Luckily, the railroad kind of sprays that, keeps vegetation down, but you've still got trees growing. You've got all kind of debris growing up along the side of that. At some point in time, we're gonna have the same issue there. That's gonna have to be addressed. So I'm just asking for y'all's support to work with Orange County Drainage District to find a solution to this. Nobody should have their property used as a drainage area, because the original drainage that was there, and I've been there 40 years. I've been there since 1981. And it's just filled in and silted in. Trees have blown down from the hurricanes we've had over the past years. And it's just gotten to the point where the water is having a tough time getting out. So what does it do? It just diverts to the lowest place, which is right across my property, going all the way to the bottom. So I'm being used as a retention pond and a drain. And so just like resolution that. Any questions from anybody on any of this? Okay, that's all I had. I'm going to follow up on this. I dropped the ball at one time, the picture that you have where they started to clear it out. My fault. I dropped the ball on it. I didn't see and didn't push to get it completed all the way out and to keep it maintained. I'm fixing to retire the plant life, which I know several of you, including you, what it's like to be inside of a plant. They rule your life, and they take all your time from you. So my fault for dropping the ball on it, not seeing that it was kept up. But I'm fixing to retire, and I'm going to start doing all I can to push from every direction that I can. You're going to start seeing often and hearing me holler just a little bit louder, and that's with the county and with the city, until we figure out a resolution to keep some of this water going to a place where it should be and not where it should.
Is there a resolution or to help out on our part with the drainage, with the orange drainage, as far as a grant.
So we have a great relationship with the drainage district, and, you know, we work with issues like this all the time. And I didn't know about it until it was on the agenda, but yeah, they contacted me and we went out there and looked, and we've actually started looking at, you know, options to mediate this water.
I mean, if any of you care to look, you're welcome on my property anytime. The little street, it looks like a driveway. It looks like a driveway for roofless soil. It's not. It's an extension of Crabtree Street, so it's public property. And you're welcome to drive down in there and look and see what kind of mess it is. The last driveway is suffering damage back to Alex Caswell when he was with the city of West Orange. They came in and tried to cement and shore up, because what's happening is that water pushes through that pipe, and then the road itself catches a lot of runoff from Nathan Street. It runs right down the middle of the road and then makes its way off to the edge of that ditch, and it's eroding right where those meet up, and it's washing out under my concrete driveway. So Alex Caswell, they brought in bags of cement and tried to shore that up, and slowly starting to wash out again. I don't know how long Alex has been gone, but it's been a few years. Storms and just all the growth. And if you go in there right now, you'll see where I've sprayed it. I'm too old to get down in these ditches. I get down in them and I can't get out.
Amen.
I can't get out. So, I spray them. The cost of the chemicals to spray had jumped from around 36 to 40 bucks for 2.5 gallons of concentrate. I went down the other day, it's up to $139 for the same 2.5 gallon jug, and the prices continue to go up. I can't spray it no more. I'm not going to absorb that cost to control it. So that spraying that I just did, they're fixing to start growing up. And I'll ask the city, because that is along Crabtree Street, treat it like you do South Street. Take the mower in there, try to help keep it clean from where it can be reached, because those are drains for city property. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Ruth.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 4, discussion of possible action on a request submitted by Arsenal Wilson Co. for an extension amendment to the professional services agreement for the WWTP, that's wastewater treatment plant project, dated 9/9/2019, contingent upon approval of the GLO. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve, the extension amendment for Arsenault and Wilson and Co. for the project dated 9/9/19, and then approval of the grant.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the request submitted by Arsenal Wilson and Co. for an extension on their contract. Is there any discussion?
It's okay with you, Chief?
Yes, it'll extend it actually until December 31st, 2023 is what they're requesting.
Is there, the engineering then is already done on it and
They said the engineering is almost complete.
almost, should be going out to bids and stuff? Okay. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Hearing none, motion carried. All right, item number 5, discussion and possible action on a membership application to the West Orange Volunteer Fire Department submitted by Jason E. Webb.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we do approve Jason.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of accepting the motion for membership application by Jason E. Wells to West Orange Volunteer Fire Department, say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries. Item number 6, discussion and possible action on a membership application by the West Orange Volunteer Fire Department submitted by Crystal Wells.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we do approve Ms. Crystal, the fire department.
Second that. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote for this application for West Orange Volunteer Fire Department submitted by Crystal Wells. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries. Item number 7, discussion and possible action on a membership application to the West Orange Volunteer Fire Department submitted by Travis DeGuy.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we accept Travis also.
Second that. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote for approval of the application by Travis DeGuy for the West Orange Volunteer Fire Department. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 8, discussion and possible action on approval of a change order pertaining to the color of the new fire truck.
I make a motion to deny the change color for the new color of the new person.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the change order pertaining to the color of the new fire truck, did you specify?
Mayor, it was denying.
Denying. Denying, yeah, okay. Denying the color. Okay. It's a change order pertaining to the color, we're not mentioning the color, so does that make any difference? Well, I guess it doesn't in the contract.
I thought the motion was to deny the change order to change the color.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so we have a motion denying the change order pertaining to the color of the new fire truck. All in favor of that motion, say aye. All opposed, no?
No. Shirley and Maria.
Shirley and Maria voted for denying the change. Brent, Brent, myself, and Mike. No.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the change order for the fire truck, color of the fire truck.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. We have a motion and a second to, approve the change order pertaining to the color of the new fire truck. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the change order pertaining to the color of the fire truck, say aye. Aye.
Me, Brent, and Randy.
The next, okay, all opposed, say no.
No.
All right. Shirley. Maria. All right, so the motion carries for the change order pertaining to the color of the new fire. For announcements, the non-emergency departments of the city closed in observance of Good Friday and Easter Sunday on Friday, April the 15th, 2022, and Monday, April the 18th, 2022. City of West Orange Spring cleanup City of West Orange Spring Cleanup will be Friday and Saturday, April the 22nd and the 23rd, 2022. Early voting by personal appearance at City Hall, Monday, April the 25th through Tuesday, May the 3rd, 2022, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Election Day is Saturday, May the 7th, here in the Community Center, 2022, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Election Day, I'm gonna repeat that one, because I want everybody to show up here. Election Day, Saturday, May the 7th, 2022, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Our next council meeting will be Monday, May the 16th, at 5 p.m. Note, May, June, and July meetings will be held on third Mondays of the month. May the 16th, June the 20th, and July the 18th. Turn the page, make sure I'm not getting one. Oh, the last agenda item is meetings adjourned.